Okay, here we go on the second training video for templates. And before we get started, I want to remind you that in our previous video, we looked at how do you create a template. We went to templates. I'm already logged into DocuSign, and we created two templates. One, a seller 1 to 4 family, and the second, a third-party financing. Now, there will be many templates when it comes to a transaction that a seller receives an offer on, but in this example, for the sake of time, remember we're just using two forms. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Zip Forms and we're going to role play, and we are going to be Mr. Spock, and we are going to receive an offer on a property that we are listing. So I'm going to close DocuSign. I'm already logged into Zip Forms. You'll see that the transaction is created. DAB, DocuSign, and Beyond for the class, listing on 2019 Starship Enterprise. I'm going to open the transaction. It's already been created. Our property is 2019 Starship Enterprise. I tap on Parties, and you'll see the parties. Seller 1, Jean-Luc, we know them well by now, and Giardi LaForge, and of course, Mr. Spock as the listing agent. So the parties are there. If I tap on Documents, you'll see the forms are already in this transaction, and they have been filled out. On the listing side, I have a residential exclusive right to sell, information about brokerage services, seller's disclosure notice. They've all been filled out and they've all been signed by the seller. So I've listed the property, or Mr. Spock has listed the property. If you look on the left-hand side, notice you'll see offer from buyer. Mr. Spock received an offer from the buyers on this property, 2019 Starship Enterprise Lane. If I click on that folder, these two files have been uploaded. If I open up the 1 to 4 family, you will see here is the offer made to Jean-Luc and Giardi from Shannon O'Donnell, Beverly Crusher on 219 Starship Enterprise. They made an offer on the property for $600,000. Obviously, it's going to close at Independence Title and been previously signed by the two buyers. I'm going to close this preview. I have my two forms here. What do we want to do at this point? We want to have our sellers accept the offer. So I created a signed offer by sellers folder. We know how to do that. We learned that in the first half of the class. You click on add folder and create this, because when we send these two PDFs to be signed, we want the signed PDFs to come back to the signed offer by sellers in Zip Forms. To do that, here we go. We're going to click on our eSign tab to send these two forms. We're going to create a new packet. And what forms are we going to have signed? Not the seller forms. I'm going to scroll down here to sign documents where the offer was uploaded from the buyer, was uploaded to Zip Forms. My 1 to 4 family, third-party financing. Click on Close. Here's the key to remember. Choose a folder for return signed documents to go into automatically. I'm going to click on this folder, click in Signed Documents. It's a subfolder, and it's going to be Signed Offer by Sellers. Select Done, and now my signed documents from the sellers will be returned to this subfolder. So I have my subfolder selected, have my 1 to 4 family, third-party financing offer from my buyers. Click on Next. What parties will be involved in this transaction? To keep it very simple, I'm going to select Jean-Luc Picard, seller number 1, Giardi LaForge, seller number 2. Click on Close. I'm going to give them both signing order number 1. As you've learned previously, you can do it here. As I'm working through the wizard to move from Zip Forms to DocuSign, or I can set my signing order directly in DocuSign. I'm going to click on Next. It takes me to DocuSign. Now, in the past, when we've come from DocuSign and we've sent over to DocuSign a form to be signed that came from Zip Forms and we filled out, it automatically applies the tags. You can see over here on the right hand side, there are no tags applied here. The reason being, it is a PDF. My buyers have signed it previously. DocuSign doesn't know what this PDF is, even though it's a 1-to-4 family residential resale contract. This is where we can apply our template that we created in the previous exercise. It will apply the tags for us. To get to the detailed page for this transaction within Zip Forms, I'm going to click on the back button. When I click on back, notice here are my two forms, 1-to-4 family, third-party financing. Here are my sellers, Jean-Luc Giardi. Now, I am going to apply a template to each form that I created previously. Here's my 1-to-4 family. Going to click on the little menu button and notice I have an option, Apply Templates. I click on Apply Template. Now, I don't see any matching templates here. That's okay. I'm going to click on Browse. Here are my two templates. Since I selected the 1-to-4 family, I'm going to click on the Seller 1-to-4 family, Apply Selected Template. When I do, note, Seller 1, there's Seller 3, there's Seller 2. In this instance, and if I click on Next, I want to show you this. Next, oops, recipient name is required. Note, I don't have a Seller 3. That's okay. I'm going to click on this X that's displayed. I will delete Seller 3. It says all their assigned fields will be deleted. That's perfect. We want them to be. I delete Seller 3. I have Seller 1, I have Seller 2. Here's my customized message, DBA listing, 2019 Starship to Enterprise. If you have any questions, we put that in our template. I will click on Next. And note, for my 1-to-4 family, all my signature tags are in place. Isn't that lovely? Now, I can scroll down all the way to the third party. Note, for the third party financing, no signature tags are in place. Why? I haven't applied the template for the third party financing addendum. I'm going to go back to my detail page. I'm going to click the back button. I'm going to select the third party financing, click on the little menu button, Apply Template. There are no templates displayed here. I'm going to select Browse, click on Seller Third Party, apply selected template to this form. My Sellers 1, Seller 2, Seller 3 appeared again because I have a Seller 3 role within my third-party financing addendum. That's okay. I'm going to delete it. It deletes the associated fields. Click on Next. I scroll down in my navigation pane to my third-party financing. Notice the time it saves for each template or for each form by applying templates. So you would go through, you would create a template for each form, and then come in when you receive the offer, apply the template for each form. We click on Send, and the offer goes out to the sellers to sign, and at this point will be returned to Zip Form in our folder that we created, signed offer by sellers, and obviously the originator of the envelope in DocuSign, Mr. Spock, who is the listing agent, will receive a copy of the signed offer. Thank you so very much. I am closing or stopping this recording on templates in DocuSign.